You're driving in heavy traffic on a wet road. Which lights should you use if there's a lot of surface spray? Main beam headlights. Dipped headlights. Side lights only. Rear fog lights if visibility is more than 100 meters, 328 feet.
So the best answer to this question is you're going to use dipped headlights, because that gives you a little bit of more light on the road.
You're about to overtake a slow-moving motorcyclist. Which sign would make you take special care?
Now, overtaking a motorcyclist, you need to be aware that if there's side winds, then the motorcyclist may be blown in front of you or may be unsettled. So the answer is side wind.
You're approaching a mini roundabout. What should you do if a long vehicle in front signals left but positions over to the right? Follow the same course as the lorry. Overtake on the left. Keep well back. Sound your horn.
Long vehicles like buses do unusual course or unusual turns on a runabout. If a bus indicates left, it's going to position itself on the right so that it gets extra room to do the maneuver. The same applies if a bus wants to go to the right, it's going to position itself on the left to get extra room. So the best thing to do is to keep well back.
Why is it more difficult to overtake a large vehicle than a car? A large vehicle will be fitted with a speed limiter. It will take longer for a large vehicle to accelerate. It will take longer to overtake a large vehicle. A large vehicle will have air brakes.
It's more difficult to overtake a large vehicle because a large vehicle has a bigger distance. So the size of the car is too long, and therefore it will take longer to overtake a large vehicle.
You're traveling behind a bus. What should you do if it pulls up at a bus stop? Sound your horn. Accelerate past the bus. Look for pedestrians. Pull in closely behind the bus.
When a bus pulls up or stop at a bus stop, it's either the bus is going to pick up passengers or drop passengers. So what do? You look for pedestrians.
You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left-hand curb? Warn the driver about the wrong signal. Wait behind the long vehicle. Report the driver to the police. Overtake on the right-hand side.
As I've already explained, long vehicles like this bus do unusual turns at junctions or on the runabout. They signal left but need to position themselves on the right, and they signal right but need to position themselves on the left so that they can get enough room to do the maneuver. So you wait behind the long vehicle. That is the most safest thing to do.
You're leaving a safe gap as you follow a large vehicle. What should you do if a car moves into this gap? Sound your horn. Start to overtake. Drop back further. Flash your headlights.
We always want our roads to be safe. And therefore, if you create a safe gap and a vehicle overtakes and moves into that gap, the best thing to do is to drop back further. It means you reduce your speed to still create another safe gap.
You're following a large vehicle as it approaches a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals to turn left? Overtake if you can leave plenty of room. Wait for the driver to cancel their signal. Overtake if there are no oncoming vehicles. Wait for the vehicle to finish turning.
A large vehicle signaling left will position itself to the right because it needs extra room to do the maneuver. So the best thing to do is to wait for the vehicle to finish turning.
You're following a long vehicle as it approaches a crossroads. What should you do if it signals left but moves out to the right? Overtake it as it starts to slow down. Stay well back and give it room. Assume the signal is wrong and that it's turning right. Get closer in order to pass it quickly.
We've come across this question several times, but in different forms. So what do? You stay well back and give it room because it needs extra room to maneuver.
Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate? Because trams do not have a horn. Because trams cannot steer to avoid obstructions. Because trams cannot stop for cars. Because trams do not have lights.
Trams do not have steers to avoid obstructions like a car, like a cyclist, like a motorcyclist who have steers to avoid obstructions. So you should be careful when you're driving on the tram rails.
What should you do if there's a bus at a bus stop ahead of you? Flash your lights to warn the driver of your presence. Continue at the same speed but sound your horn as a warning. Watch carefully for the sudden appearance of pedestrians. Pass the bus as quickly as you possibly can.
As we already come across this question before, but it's coming in a different form. If you see a bus at a bus stop ahead of you, then you should be expecting pedestrians. So you watch carefully for the sudden appearance of pedestrians.
You're towing a caravan. Which is the safest type of rear view mirror to use? Extended arm side mirrors. Ordinary door mirrors. Interior wide angle mirror. Ordinary interior mirror.
So if you're towing a caravan, then you're going to need extended arm side mirrors to help you to be able to watch the car in your mirrors. So extended arm side mirrors is what you need.
What should you do if you want to overtake a long, slow-moving vehicle on a busy road? Stay behind until the driver waves you past. Follow it closely and keep moving out to see the road ahead. Keep well back so that you get a good view of the road ahead. Flash your headlights for the oncoming traffic to give way.
Remember that a long vehicle, which is also a slow moving, is always going to take longer time for you to overtake. So you keep well back so that you can get a good view of the road ahead.
Which vehicles are least likely to be affected by side wind? Motorcyclists. High-sided vehicles. Cars. Cyclists.
When you talk about the least likely to be affected by side wind, it means the vehicle cannot be affected by the wind, whether it will be blown away, whether there will be a sudden gust. So cars in this situation will be the least likely to be affected by side wind. They cannot be swayed.
You're waiting to turn right out of a minor road. It's clear to the left but a lorry is coming from the right. Why should you wait, even if you have enough time to turn? The lorry could suddenly speed up. Anything overtaking the lorry will be hidden from view. The lorry might be slowing down. The load on the lorry might be unstable.
Because the lorry is huge or big, if you're going to turn right and there's a lorry coming, also turning right, you have to wait for the lorry to turn right so that in case anybody's overtaking, that vehicle will not be hidden from you. So the answer is anything overtaking the lorry will be hidden from your view.
What should you do as you approach this lorry? Make the lorry wait for you. Flash your lights at the lorry. Slow down and be prepared to wait. Move to the right-hand side of the road.
If you approach the lorry, the best thing to do is to slow down and be prepared to wait because the lorry is going to make an unusual turn.
What should you do if you overtake a cyclist when it's very windy? Allow extra room. Keep close as you pass. Sound your horn repeatedly. Overtake very slowly.
A cyclist is the most affected by wind or side wind. So in a windy condition, allow extra room so that the cyclist cannot be blown in front of you or would not be unsettled. So always allow extra room.
You're driving on a single carriageway road. Why should you keep well back while you're following a large vehicle? To offer other drivers a safe gap if they want to overtake you. To give yourself acceleration space if you decide to overtake. To get the best view of the road ahead. To leave a gap in case the vehicle stops and rolls back.
On a single carriageway, because only one car is traveling up north and there's another oncoming vehicle or oncoming road, You need to keep well back if you're following a large vehicle so that you'll be able to see the road clear ahead.
It's very windy. What should you do if you're behind a motorcyclist who's overtaking a high-sided vehicle? Overtake the motorcyclist immediately. Keep well back. Keep close to the motorcyclist. Stay level with the motorcyclist.
So anytime you see another vehicle overtaking, always keep well back. That is safe driving.
What should you do when you're approaching a bus that's signaling to move away from a bus stop? Allow it to pull away, if it's safe to do so. Get past before it moves. Signal left and wave the bus on. Flash your headlights as you approach.
In this case, you always allow the bus to pull away if it is safe to do so, because the bus is a larger vehicle and it's going to do an unusual movement on the road. So always allow it to pull away if it's safe to do so.
You're following a lorry on a wet road. What should you do when spray makes it difficult to see the road ahead? Put your headlights on full beam. Drop back until you can see better. Keep close to the lorry, away from the spray. Speed up and overtake quickly.
So if you're getting this spray on your screens or your windscreen, then the best thing to do is to drop back further until you can see better ahead.
What should you be prepared to do in this situation? Sound your horn and continue. Slow down and give way. Report the driver to the police. Squeeze through the gap.
So in this situation, the best thing to do is to slow down and give way, because this truck is going to do an unusual turn. Congratulations!